Do you ever feel like you're not qualified to serve the Lord, or you're not strong enough to do great things for the Lord? I want to talk to you about it in this morning's Morning Cup of Inspiration. You see, God has called everyone who knows Him. If you've accepted Christ as your Savior, He's called you to do great things in His name, and you can do it. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Let me say that again. God doesn't call the qualified. He doesn't need people who are super talented, super intelligent, but He qualifies those He calls. And we read about it. You know, Paul was one of those people. He didn't feel like he had any special gifts, and yet he wrote over half of the New Testament. And you think of people like Moses and Joshua and David, they all felt like they were unqualified to do what God called them to do, but they discovered a secret. It's found in 2 Corinthians 12:9, where Paul says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." His power is made perfect in our weakness. And I want to tell you about a lady named Joni Eareckson Tada. She, at the age of 17, dove into the Chesapeake Bay, and she misjudged the shallowness of the water. She fractured a vertebrae that left her paralyzed for life from the neck down. And yet her accomplishments are amazing. While she was going through 2 years of rehab, she struggled with depression, anger, and suicide. But the Lord found her, and she accepted Him, and she gave her life to Him, and she learned how to paint with a paintbrush in her teeth. Can you imagine? Because she was paralyzed from the neck down, she has painted many, many beautiful paintings. She's written over 40 books using voice recognition software. She heads up a radio show that she hosts called Joni and Friends. It's on 1,000 outlets around the world. And she advocates for the disabled. She has done so much with what she has. And yet she said that if you deny your weakness, you'll never realize God's strength in you. Think about that. If you deny your weakness, you'll never realize God's strength in you. He wants to use you, and He's the one that can be strong in your weakness. Just give your weakness to Him and give your life to Him, and He can do amazing things. Thanks for joining me for that morning cup of inspiration, and I'll talk to you next time.